have no idea how this video is gonna go. I get asked about using your phone for product photos all the time, and I've been told I should cover a video on this, which is what I'm trying to do here. However, I've hesitated on doing this video because to me, when I see a photo in my mind, I'm seeing it through the lens of my camera because I'm very comfortable with that. I can just nail that shot in my head, in reality, and just like it's, I don't know how to explain this, obviously. If you ask me to do the same thing with my phone, I will have to slow down and think about it, which is fine. We're gonna do that today. So instead of doing this tutorial style, because I feel like that's a little silly and inauthentic because I'm not well versed in using my phone for product photos, right? So I'm going to do this challenge style. I decided to challenge myself to try and take product photos with my phone and maybe do like a comparison. Obviously not in like a this or that is better, but just like I want to challenge myself to achieve a similar outcome. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to like find a couple of products and shoot them a couple of ways. I really am just making this up as I go because like I said, I didn't know how to do this video, and so we're just starting it. We're just gonna see where this goes. So you're just along for the ride, and that's what we're going to do. It's a challenge for me, and then maybe the way that I approach it will give you some insights too. That's the hopeful outcome, is that we can both learn something from this. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go find some things. First we have a cuticle oil, this lavender candle, and last we have this little ring. I am back. It has been a few days, got a little caught up with work kind of suddenly there. Here we are several days later, but that's fine. I was going to actually just start re-recording the entire intro, whatever, but decided we're just gonna use whatever I did. Just gonna pick up where we left off. And where we left off was actually shooting the products. So that is what we're going to do. For the plain shot that we're doing for the cuticle oil, I'm just going to put this coaster here. It's a black coaster on a riser, and I do have a video about risers. To keep things simple for my phone, I'm going to shoot all of these with natural light. Here we go. That looks pretty good. Time for the camera. We have our camera shot. Next up we have this candle. I'm going to just shoot the camera shot now. If I were doing these, which I have done this one before, there would be lights and probably a sweep because I don't like edges. Now for the phone. All right. Shot. So last we have the ring. I used dental wax to put the ring on, to stand up the ring on this like piece of paper here. Got the camera. I mean, I'd like to focus there because it's jewelry, but now for the camera, I mean the phone. Geez, I can't keep these words together. I mean, yeah, I got it. All the plain shots are done. Now, moving on to the styled shots. For this shot, I was thinking of some really harsh lights and like shadow. We're gonna put these flags, something like that. Dark background or white, I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna shoot it with this. Okay, camera first. Phone. To bring the exposure down. Okay, for the candle, since it's lavender, I've got lavender here, but I don't know if it'll make it in the shot because it is so much taller, but it's nearby if I want to utilize it. Candle on this little dish matches, so and then I've got more lavender. I'll just sort of put this, you know, funny story, I'm actually allergic to lavender, but it affects me more like in the essential oils or fresh flowers. These are dried, so they don't bother me as much. Okay, now for the camera. Okay, let's go through the photos really fast. We have first off the cuticle oil, right? I think we got a similar result there, so I'm pretty happy about that. Sidebar, I did not edit these like to be as close as possible as I probably could have. And so there's that. You'll see differences in light contrast and white balance. But that also has a bit to do with the camera and lens as well. So there's a little bit of both in play there. I don't believe I shot with ProRes or RAW or anything on the phone side. So there's that. There's probably more potential there. And I did shoot with a 90 macro on all of these Sony ones. So putting that out there. Okay, the iPhone shots will, I think, be on the left for all of these. And then the Sony on the right. So back to the cuticle oil, like I said, I think we got a really similar result here. You do see more smoother transitions in contrast on the Sony side, but I'm pretty happy that I was able to shoot something and get a similar result on the phone. Same here with the candle. You will see I probably could have benefited from some focus stacking on the Sony side, but to match these a little bit better. But that's pretty good. I think we did okay. For the ring, you will see the macro kind of setting kicked in for the iPhone. And whenever that happens, you do see a little more noise, some gritty details. And so you do see the difference over on the Sony side. However, focus stacking also could have helped here if I wanted more of the ring in focus. But I do think it's kind of pretty for that fallout. There is a hot spot though, which does slightly bother me, but that's okay. Moving on to the styled shots, we have the cuticle oil. I think this one worked really well. You do see a smooth transition again on the Sony side between the lights and the darks. Everything is just really cohesive over there. It's all good. I think the end result is still a similar end result, which is all we were kind of going for here. So I am pretty happy with that. Then this is probably my favorite shot for the iPhone. And I just think it really the colors and everything really work together. You have some softness starting to come out, but you do still see like the harsh contrasts I've been mentioning in like the matchbook section, the little round kind of match container thing. There's some highlights kicking off there and such. And then you do notice the depth of field differences. So we have like the lavender is in focus on the iPhone side, whereas it's a little softer on the Sony side. So that's just like a lens depth of focus situation there. Like I said, though, I did not use like ProRes RAW kind of features on the iPhone side. So there's probably ways to achieve a even more similar result, but like I mentioned before, I'm not comfortable with the iPhone camera situation as much as I am with my camera. So last we have the ring, and here you'll see the most differences, I would say, and that's because, you know, we are working with that shallower depth of field with the Sony versus the iPhone, right? You could see all of the shadow textures, which is kind of cool. You could get that on the Sony side if you wanted to, of course. But you also see every textured detail of the background, right? The piece of paper I believe I was using, whereas those are soft and kind of milky on the Sony side. So there's a difference there. And then I tried to use the foreground blurring kind of situation with the flowers. That doesn't pay off as well on the iPhone side. So there's that as well. And then it did use the macro settings. So you can see those kind of gritty, intense, kind of muddy details going on with the ring there. So some differences there, but I think all in all, it was a success. I think I managed to shoot something and then match it on the phone for the most part. I don't know if we learned something from that, but it was a challenge nonetheless. And I think it was kind of fun. So you let me know if there's something else you'd like me to try, or you know, maybe you've got some tips out there if you use your phone more often than I do for photography, for products specifically, that people might want to know. So I will see you in the next video. Okay.